Okay, so in our harp lesson today, we've talked about tuning the harp. So here's your tuning wrench, and you put it on the pin, and as you can hear, it takes very little to change the pitch of the string. So you want to just turn it clockwise to raise the string and counterclockwise to lower the string, but not very much, because it's easy to break a string by turning it too tightly. Now, another thing you might want to do is look at the top of the harp and just make sure that you're matching the string that you are tuning to the pin. And you can see that by looking at the top of your harp. There's the F, and then you just reach over and make sure that you've got the same pin and the same string. And the other thing we talked about was we put the harp on the dolly. So here's your dolly, and with a small harp, a lever harp, so you put the harp on the dolly, and you want to make sure that, so let's see, here's the dolly. You can see the dolly right here. And you get the harp on the dolly, and what you want to do is you make sure that you never walk away from the harp, because if you walk away from a small harp like this while it's on a dolly, the dolly will go backward and the harp will go forward and break. So you never leave the harp just sitting there, dolly and a harp together. Now, you can do that with a pedal harp, because a pedal harp is much, much heavier than a small harp. But you've got some small harps at your school, so you want to make sure you take care of them and don't let them drop. The other thing we talked about was playing glissandos, and we played, let's see, pointer finger goes up, thumb goes down, now notice that I'm not just sticking my pointer out like this and doing this. The rest of my fingers are dangling. And the other thing we talked about was playing a glissando with the right hand and taking the left hand and ending on a note to give it some kind of conclusion. Or we talked about glissandos on the lower strings. We usually don't do that. That's muddy sounding, so we avoid that. We talked about the lower strings of the harp being longer and thicker, and they go away from your face, so this is going lower. And we talked about the higher strings of the harp. When you go up on the harp, the strings become shorter and thinner, so that's going up on the harp. We talked about the pedals on the pedal harp being in the order of, did Columbus bring enough food going abroad? That's from your left side. Did Columbus bring enough food going abroad? And what we did was we put B, E, and A up, and that created us to be in the key of, well, we were able to play a C minor scale. Sorry, that's out of tune. And I think that's mainly what we talked about today. And I will put up a video for you on how to change a bass wire, because we did change a bass wire. Remember, we left a lot of slack, because we talked about if you put a new bass wire string on and you don't leave any slack, then when you crank it up at the top, it breaks the string, and then you've just wasted money. So you have to leave some slack, and I'll get you a video on that too.